Hello, everyone, and welcome to our class today, How to Finally Stop Drowning in Piles. I'm April Perry, and I'm here with my husband, Eric.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to class today. We are thrilled to have you with us.
You know you're in the right place if you're currently inundated with some kind of pile. Now, for some of you, it might be piles of email, and some of you, it might be piles of stuff in your head, like this picture on the bottom left. Or for some of you, it might just be piles of stuff like craft supplies or papers or just things literally laying on every flat surface. If you have flat surface disease where every flat surface is covered with stuff, we're going to talk about a simple step-by-step process to get out of that and then be able to take that time and energy and more fully invest it in your family and in your business and just your life. Now, just a little quick background. Eric and I have 4 children, 2 girls, 2 boys, and we run LearnDoBecome.com. And what we're talking about today solved a huge pain point I had. I'm just going to share my experience with you. I had my first planner when I was 13 and felt like I was really organized all through high school and college. But when real life started and Eric and I got married and we started having children and we moved 9 times and I had several surgeries and then we had student loans and a mortgage, what was happening is every day I was waking up feeling totally overwhelmed, and every night I was going to bed feeling like a failure. Now, I just want you to let me know in the text chat if you can relate to how I felt, whether you have children or not, that you're working hard all day trying to get things done, but by the end of the day, you feel like you're literally drowning. It's hard to breathe. You feel like you can't ever get ahead, almost like you're a hamster on a hamster wheel. Okay, we're already saying yes.
So sadly, April, you're the only one in the class today who has those types of thoughts and feelings. You're the only one.
We're saying yes, exactly, absolutely. Yes, that's me, big time. I mean, very, very common. Now, my story has a really happy ending, and I want your happy ending to start today. I don't say this in a bragging way, but I need to be very clear that for the past 8 years, I haven't had any piles anywhere in my life. My emails have been at 0 pretty much every night. The house is generally organized. My desk is clear. My mind is clear for 8 years, but I've also done more than ever before. Not only just raising our 4 children, but running 2 businesses and writing 3 books and podcasting and spending time each week with my parents. And so then you think, well, then how do you have no piles but still get more done? Well, that's actually the secret, is getting rid of the piles. And so today I want to share with you how to actually do this, okay? Now, it started with the book Getting Things Done by David Allen, which is an international bestseller. Many of you probably have heard of it or might have it on your shelf. I found when I took what I learned from David Allen and kind of simplified it a little bit, made it more visual, and combined it with things I learned from Stephen Covey and Fly Lady and other experts, I was able to come up with a very simple, replicable process that I started teaching to people all over the country, online and in person. And then what I found was that not only did this totally solve my problem, but every single person who followed the same steps I was following was getting the same results. And that's when I realized this is my mission, to help people see that, yeah, if you're in this drowning state, if you're overwhelmed, that's actually an option and you can get out. Now, I'm not representing the David Allen Company, but they have invited me to be a GTD influencer because they know how much I adore their work. Now we're going to jump into some before and after photos, but just some housekeeping. If you are here on a desktop or laptop, you can exit full screen and click chat, so the chat's on the right and won't cover your slides. Mobile, just switch back and forth. We want you to focus mostly on the slides. I am going to send a replay, but it's so rare to actually be able to be online live together, so I hope you'll really focus on that and take notes as you're going through on the things that you can implement. If it gets overwhelming at any point, you can close the chat. Now, for those of you who may be watching on Facebook Live, there's a link where you can come join us on the Zoom platform if you'd like to be able to chat back and forth with us here. We're so glad that you've made it. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll look at these before photos. And I want you to just let me know if you have a physical place in your home or office that looks like this, if your mind feels like this, or both. Okay, so you could type in like mind, house, both, whatever, you know, so I can understand what is this? What's going on for you? Okay, so we're seeing a lot of both, plus emails. Okay, so like, yeah, digital clutter, both. Yes, yes, yes. My house isn't this bad, but my mind feels like this. Okay, house, 10,000 emails. Yes, my office. You're like, how'd you get in my house? Okay, so a lot of hands being raised. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, so this is super common. There is zero shame here. This actually is very normal. And even though you don't really see this on Pinterest, this is actually the norm. This is the default. All this means is that you're being hit by a fire hose every day, and nobody ever taught you that you could actually accommodate the fire hose into your life. You just never learned a system that actually worked. You kind of know how to file and how to put things in stacks, but no one ever showed you how to actually process what comes into your life. That's all this means. So today we're going to start showing you how we're going to do this, okay? Now here's the afters, and I would love for you to just type in the chat, what's an adjective that comes to your mind when you see this, right? When you go from this before, these are the exact same spots, come over here to the after, what's that adjective that comes first in your mind? Okay, so we're saying peace, clean, organized, calm, clear, serenity, free. Yes, exactly.
And we love these pictures because they're real life situations, right? Real people live here. They're not perfectly organized, they're not Pinterest worthy, and they're not supposed to be. But what I love about these pictures, especially this one on the left, I mean, that kitchen desk nook, not everything's perfectly put away, the binders don't match, but it's a system that works for that individual, for their family. They can find the information, the resources they need when they need them. They can see their family values. They've created a system that works for them. And that's what we want to do in the class today, is help every one of us learn 4 steps that will help us learn create a very simple mental and physical space that will allow us to work on and achieve the projects, the goals, the dreams that we each have.
The main idea is that you need a command central, all right? Your command central is a seamless system that's going to hold all of your tasks, your projects, emails, flyers, receipts, bills, papers, those x-ray forms that you've got to take to the doctor next Thursday, right? Like all this kind of stuff is now being held in a seamless system that takes the place of the piles. It can be a paper system, or it can be digital. Mine's on the left, Eric's is on the right, or it could be a hybrid of the two. We're going to show you how to do that.
Yeah, we just asked in the text chat, who in the class today would like to have a command central, some sort of a system in your home, your office, wherever you work, that would help you be able to manage all these details of your life well. I think the obvious answer is all of us would love to have that as quickly and well as we can, but maybe if having a command central would be helpful to you, share in the text chat in a few words or a sentence, how would it help you in your life?
When you have a command central, now you don't have the digging through piles going on in your house. The command central gives you one place to go look to find what you need, and everyone in the family can use it. So yeah, we're seeing saving time. I'd know where to look for stuff, relieving stress and chaos. Always lose important papers. Lost my son's social security number last night. Like, yeah, these things really add up and take time and cause stress. And if you just had a command central and knew everything was in one spot, that would really change a lot. Love Carol saying, and make me feel fantastic and organized. Love that. Okay, now the entire command central is right here. Don't get overwhelmed by it. We're not going to do the whole thing right now. We're going to do these 2 parts today. You need to have all the parts, though, in order to make the command central work. It's like driving a car. You've got to have the steering wheel, the engine, the tires. Like if you're missing one piece, then it's not going to work. But these 2 pieces, context-based next actions list and current projects list, are what we're going to focus on today. They can actually work independently and get you moving, all right? So that's what we're going to do today. Now, here's how you know if your head is doing the job of a command central. Do you have a constant voice that's in your head reminding you to do things all day long? Saying, hey, did you remember that you're going to follow up with that client? Send that email. Go put some food in the crock pot. You've got to pick up crackers for the preschool snack. What about sending in the college application, right? Like there's all these little things that are going through your head just reminding you all day long. We're saying yes, always, all day and night, notes everywhere, and interrupts my sleep. Yeah, like it's super normal and super common. Now, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being awesome, how would you feel if you knew that that voice could be gone for good? Not because you're ignoring it, but because it literally has nothing to say. We're seeing lots of 10, 10, 10s, all, yes, hundreds, right? Like this is huge because I didn't know it was possible for that voice to be silenced But for the last 8 years, it's been totally gone for me. You're like, that can happen? Yeah, it's because now my brain can trust my command central. Now, here's our goals for today's class. We're going to be together for the next 50 minutes. We'll be ending right on the hour. And here's what I want for you. Number one, I want you to renew hope and take a deep breath. Because if right now you're drowning, today I'm going to show you the way out. But I'm not just going to show you, I'm going to involve you. So today we're going to identify one current project, then one next action to go with it. We'll learn to create context-based lists, you can see over here on the left. And then we're going to review the 4 decision-making criteria that will help you know how to get things done during this busy day. Now, part of you is going to want to say, I have so much to do, I need to just close this computer and I need to go work on it. I understand. You feel like if you can just dig through the piles faster, that it's going to make it better. That's not going to work. What I would challenge you to do is stay here for the hour class, learn how to actually change the situation, and it's going to give you so much relief, okay? All right, now we're going to step back and look at what you want to accomplish. Let's look at the bigger picture. Most people want a balance of these 5 things. So top left is having some sort of hobby just for you. Bottom left is having quality family relationships. Middle is getting rid of the clutter. Top right is moving forward in your education and career. And bottom right is having better routines in place. So part of it's routines for you, part of it's routines for your business, or part of it's just routines for the whole family.
We just asked in the text chat here, which one of these goal areas or whys feels like it's the most important to you right now? I think all of us would agree we'd love to get to a balance of all 5 of these as quickly and as well as we can. But as we've taught this class over the years to thousands of people, we found that most people can identify one of these areas as kind of that central catalyst, that dominant area. It's that one, if I could just get my arms around this one, the others would more easily fall into place. So maybe just share in the text chat which one of these areas would be that area to help really get you started, and share it. That'll help us focus on what we do in the class today.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of getting rid of clutter, which makes sense because today we're talking about getting out of piles. But I want you to imagine this balanced life, having a clutter-free environment, having great routines that keep everything going, feeling really good about your career and having time for a hobby, but enjoying your family and never making them sit on the sidelines. Like, that's what I want for you because it's absolutely possible. It's just we're going to take kind of one step at a time. Now we're going to build on what's already working. So if you love your app or you have a Google Calendar or you just think Post-it notes are awesome or you bought a new planner that you think's great, that's awesome. I don't want you to change that. I want you to use what you like because that's going to work for you. We're just going to tweak it a little bit to make it work better, okay? Now last question, and you don't have to type this in the chat, but I do want you to at least think about it. How many meltdowns or shutdowns have you had in the past 7 days? And I think of a meltdown like I'm slamming the door, crying, yelling at my family. Usually it's Eric, and I say it's all your fault. Or a shutdown is like, let me just get some sugar and a movie, and I'm just going to pretend like I have nothing to do because I can't even deal with the concept of failure anymore, right? So we're seeing a lot of daily, 2 to 3, way too many every day. This is typically about 85% of the people who join us have had at least one. Usually about 30 to 40% have had more than 3. Now I share this because I want you to know you are absolutely not alone. It's just people don't talk about their meltdowns and shutdowns. But when you build a command central, it's going to change that. It's not your fault if you're having these. It means you're human, and it means that your brain is just overloaded. So we can actually change that by rearranging the way the information comes into you. So we're going to have fun talking about that today. So thanks you guys for sharing, because I know this is a big deal. Now, step 1, I'm starting as low tech as it can possibly get with some images, with markers and paper. Now I'm starting simply and I'm starting very visually because I want you to see this isn't hard, and our brains think in pictures. So I've tried to make this as visual as possible. The fact of the matter is that you need a current projects list, which consists of the multi-step tasks you're working on right now. If I came to your home, I guarantee we would identify about 50 to 100 multi-step tasks that you're working on simultaneously, which is why you feel like a pinball in a pinball machine, and it's why you feel like you're running around in circles all day long. So we're going to make the list shorter and organize it by for me, for my family, and beyond. So a project for me is something like, I'm going to establish a better exercise routine so I can just get moving every day. So establishing that routine is a project. For my family would be something like, I'm going to clean the garage, get rid of a lot of stuff in there. And beyond represents paid work with a dollar bill. So like I'm putting together a new email series for our website, or a cupcake represents volunteer work. Let's say you're helping with the Boy Scouts or something like that, okay? Now, here's a few more details. A project has a beginning and an end. Most people make the mistake of putting routines on this list. So they put laundry, email, marketing my business, things that have to be done over and over again. Our goal is to have a very simple list of projects that could actually be checked off. And I recommend no more than 7 or 8 total across those 3 categories. So you can maybe have like 2 for you, 3 for your family, 2 for beyond, something like that. Now, if you think, well, April, I have 100 projects I'm trying to do at the same time, and they're all important, and I have to do all of them right now, and they all depend on me, I understand. But the fact is that when you're working on all of them at the same time, they're not getting done. So we're going to brainstorm all of them, get them out of your head, and put them on a next in line list, but we're not going to try to do all of them at the same time anymore.
Yeah, and I think these last 2 bullet points that April shared are the most important parts of step 1. We really want to help people dial it back from the 20 or 50 projects you're working on right now, because that's the reason we're overwhelmed and exhausted. We're bouncing back and forth between projects like pinballs, not ever really getting any of them done or done very well or very quickly. If you'll trust us and dial it down to 8 projects or fewer every month, we promise in steps 2 through 4, we'll show you how to get 8 projects done every month. In a year, you'll be getting 96 meaningful projects done, and you're going to feel and be more productive and more excited than you've probably ever been in your life. And this last one, getting all the projects out of our head, we found over the years that most people have about 200 to 400 projects they want to get to someday, sorting around and taking up mental and emotional energy. What we want to encourage you to do is take a piece of paper, a digital note, and just start writing down and getting all the projects out of your head so that it's not taking up that space, and you're free to focus on the 8 projects you picked this month. So over the next 4 to 5 days, just keep that sheet of paper or digital note with you when you're in a boring meeting, waiting for someone in a carpool, as you're preparing meals or practice, whatever it might be, and you're going to be amazed how big this list really is. Now, that shouldn't overwhelm you or concern you. This just becomes the master list that you'll go to once a month at the beginning of each month as you're picking out which 8 projects you want to make your current projects that month. As you consistently do this over the course of about a year, a little bit more, this list will start to disappear because you're getting things done and you're getting things out of the way. You're moving forward. So we just encourage you to take those 2 steps. It'll make a world of difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is a really nice visual way that Eric's put this together, so you can see how he's brainstormed and see these projects right here at the front. I'm going to show you a couple other options. If you wanted to use paper here on the left, you can see like apply for passports, right? Very simple. Or over here on the right, establish a yoga routine. Establishing a routine is a project, but then the routine's going to go on another list I'll show you a little bit later, and you're going to focus on these projects because it's going to be a very simple list, all right? Now, let's go ahead and let's practice. What is one current project weighing on you the most that, if clarified and advanced, would help you feel like a new person? What's that project that you think, oh, if I could just get that done, it would be so awesome? Maybe you're procrastinating it because you feel like you need 15 hours to do it. Or maybe you wake up in the morning and like you just want to think of anything else you can do besides that project, even though you know if you did it, it would make such a difference for you. Okay, so we're seeing clearing out my office and making it into a kid's playroom, storage units, budgeting, craft rooms. We're seeing a lot of things like clothes, offices, business taxes, garage sale, living room. So most of us can quickly picture a room that feels overwhelming, or something like our budget, or something that's just weighing on us. So we're going to take this through the next 3 steps, and I'm going to show you how it's going to actually feel doable by the end. That's our goal, is for this to actually feel good. But before we do, Eric has a little challenge for you.
So April calls it my challenge. I think of it more as a kindly or a loving invitation, so much so that I asked her to please make me a slide stopping and calling it a challenge and calling it a kindly and loving invitation. So I love the projects you guys are picking right there. It's clear there's something or a few things that are absolutely on your shoulders weighing on you. You want to get them done, and we're going to show you how to do that. So we're going to take this project all the way through and show you how to get it done almost effortlessly over the course of this next month. But what we want to do is give you a chance to pick a second project, and this second project is going to be a lot more enjoyable, personally rewarding. So I'm going to give you a scenario here in just a moment to pick that, because the first project is usually something that has to do with organization, streamlining, getting a place built or established that you can work from, and that makes total sense to us, because as you take on more projects in the future, in the months ahead, you want a clean, clear mental and physical space to work from, to be able to get things done well. So hold on to that. We'll take it through. But I want to give you this scenario now to help you pick the second project. I'd like everyone in the class today to imagine that you have this command central already built. It's working well. It's, you know, it's whatever system, whatever you want to call it, but this system's handling the details of your life beautifully. You're not dropping any balls. Things aren't falling through the cracks. You're not constantly putting out wildfires. All the piles around you in your workspaces, your office, your home are gone because everything has its place and is generally in it. Your inboxes, your email and physical inboxes are empty or down to zero because you have a simple process just a few times a week that you use to keep them emptied and down to zero. And I realize some of you might think that we're holding out a false hope or a pipe dream to you, but we're not. We promise that this is possible for every single person, excuse me, in the class today. It's possible for anyone to do this. Now, if that system were in place for you, what would be one current project you would pick to focus on this month from the For Me category? This might be something you once loved or enjoyed doing earlier in life, maybe in childhood or adolescence, but you've set aside because you think life's become too busy or overwhelming. Or maybe it's something new at this stage of your life you want to dive into and try, like a new class, a talent, or a hobby. This should be something that's personally rejuvenating, revitalizing, and replenishing. This is something you really get excited about. Oftentimes it'll slow down in the text chat because a lot of people are thinking, well, I don't remember how to think like that. I don't remember what I love to do. Still others of you are thinking, well, I just have too many things to do. I have way too much going on. I couldn't possibly take time for that. And others are thinking, well, wouldn't that be selfish of me? I have so many other people and their needs to think of first. I can't take time for myself. And I would suggest that far from being selfish, it's actually self-replenishing, and importantly so, because it becomes the energizer, the motivation you need to focus on and finish the other projects you pick each month. And it can be the smallest of this 8 projects. This For Me project doesn't have to take a lot of time or energy, but it's something you're doing for yourself. And I think the most powerful influence it has is the example and the influence it has on those around you, those in your community, coworkers, but especially like family members, a spouse, or children are going to see you taking time to invest in and develop yourself. They're going to appreciate that. They might even adopt your example and do the same thing themselves. So April, you see anything good in the text chat?
I love this. Date my husband, hiking, being able to write, take courses, photography, painting. I mean, this is where you see things like exercise, creativity, music, crafting. The reason why you're most likely not doing these things right now is because in your mind you say, until everything is totally clean and the whole house is picked up, everything's checked off my list, and everyone's asleep, I can't do something that I enjoy. But that's actually not the case. It's just that your brain needs to know everything is safe. Your brain needs to know everything's moving forward. Then you can take that break guilt-free and do something you love. And I know because that's the life I get to live right now. Is my life perfect? Absolutely not. But I don't have any of that stress of piles, and I get to do something I love every day. And that's totally doable for you too. And I want you to just think about this. How would your life change if both of these projects could just get done quickly, easily, and well? How would you feel if every time you knew you wrote down between 2 and 8 projects for the month, that all of them were going to get done consistently because that's just who you are? What would that do for your confidence? And we're seeing, I feel so much less stress. I feel free, relieved, satisfied, amazing. Think about what that would do for your family. This is what we want for you. So stick with us because we're going to go into step 2. And this is the biggest part right here, okay? So stick with us. If you are multitasking right now, I want you paying close attention because this is where most people go wrong. This is where I went wrong for years. But when you learn how to effectively identify a next action, you actually will get to the point that you never procrastinate again. And I know you probably think, seriously, I'm a professional procrastinator. but I guarantee you, you're not a procrastinator by nature. It's just you've never learned this step. So, okay, I'm going to teach you. A next action is the next specific, visible activity that will lead your chosen project toward completion. All right, so that's the official definition from David Allen, but here's the key. You're going to boil the next step all the way down so you couldn't possibly procrastinate even if you tried. This is going to look so easy for you to do that when you see your next action written down, you get a little lift and you think, ooh, I could do that. If at any point your next action feels overwhelming, then it's not the next action, all right? We're just gonna keep boiling it down until you can actually do it. Now, here's the two biggest mistakes people make. Mistake number one is people identify a sub-project instead of a next action. So let's say I told you I need to organize my office, including all the shelves, cupboards, cabinets, everything. And you said, okay, what's your next action? What if I said the desk? Okay, the desk is a sub-project, not a next action. A next action would appropriately be something like, take 10 minutes to clean out the top left cubby, all right? 10 minutes, super specific. Someone just posted, walk into the offending room. I love that, super simple.
Someone else said, oh, that's my first name, procrastination, not even my middle name.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Now here's mistake number two. People do identify a next action, but it's something that can't be done until something else happens first. And I'll show you an example of that. There was a woman in one of my classes who said, I have dozens of boxes of books in my living room. I need to order bookshelves as my next action. Now, initially you might think, well, sure, that sounds logical. You just order bookshelves, then you assemble them, then you load the books, then you recycle the boxes. And that sounds pretty good. But I asked her, can you go right now and order your bookshelves? So I'm going to ask you that about your next action. Can you go right now and do that? Because what she said was, well, first I need to measure the office walls to see which size I need to purchase. So then I said, okay, can you go right now and measure the office walls? And she said, well, I can't find my tape measure, okay? So as she looks at her list, it says order bookshelves. What it needs to say is buy, find, or borrow a tape measure. Those are two totally different instructions. You need what's written down to be the next action so you know what to actually do. Now, Eric has a little fun analogy where he uses Pez candy and Pez dispensers.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about Pez, but don't get distracted by the candy just yet. I just want to reiterate this idea that in step one, we helped you focus on and pick a few current projects, up to 8, but no more than 8. We went through that brainstorm exercise to get all the projects out of our heads so we could pick those 8. Here in step 2, now that we have the 8 or fewer current projects we're going to focus on this month, it really is important to boil down what are the actions required for those, and then what is the very next action to get it started. That's where the momentum comes from. That's where we kill procrastination and start getting real results. So what I put in the text chat there is just a little tip. Just like we brainstormed in step 1, I'd encourage you to do a simple brainstorm at the beginning of every month as part of step 2. And it's simply this: take a piece of paper or a digital note and take the 8 or fewer projects and write them down on that piece of paper as headings. And then spend 15 minutes just brainstorming out all the action steps you can think of to get all those projects done. The list doesn't have to be complete. It doesn't have to be in prioritized order. If you think of another step throughout the month, you can just add it right in. But what doing this simple brainstorm at the beginning of a month will do, it'll give you an idea of how big or small the project is. And if you're like me, you're going to see that most projects are a lot smaller than you've been making them out to be in your mind for so long. It also allows you to see which one of those actions would be the very next one, the very first place to start, and that's where momentum will kick in. So the reason I have the Pez dispensers here on the screen is because I like to think of these 8 projects that you've written down as headings on the piece of paper as Pez dispensers, right? And then the action steps that you brainstorm are the pieces of Pez candy you'll load into those dispensers. Excuse me. So it's very, very simple. I don't know about you. I'm pretty good at loading a Pez dispenser full of the lemon, orange, strawberry candy, but I'm even faster and better at emptying that Pez dispenser by just tipping the head back and taking 1 or 2 pieces out at a time, enjoying them, and when they're gone, going back and getting the next 1 or 2. In the same way, we're going to show you in step 3 how to take out just 1 or 2 steps from each of your projects that you're working on this month and make them part of your natural daily and weekly activities to get them done. And before you know it, at the end of a month, you're going to have 8 empty Pez dispensers, or by analogy, all 8 or fewer of your projects are going to be completely done, and it's going to be really, really exciting for you. Now, let me just give you a real world example. For years, I've been procrastinating the idea of taking our family up to Yosemite for a family vacation. It's only about 4 hours away from us. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth, I think. And I've been putting it off for years and years because the complexity of logistics and reservations and taking a family of 6 with small children just seemed overwhelming. But last year, I decided to take this very approach we're teaching you today. I made Yosemite Family Vacation one of my 8 projects in June of last year. I wrote it at the top as one of the headings on my paper, and with the 15 minutes, I brainstormed the other projects and Yosemite to see what their action steps were. I was actually really surprised because it only had 8 steps to get it done. And as I looked at the 8, I realized the very next action, the first place to start, would be to reach out to a few friends and ask their recommendations and advice on where to go, what to do, and where to stay. So I grabbed my phone, sent 2 text messages and a quick Facebook post, and that was done. And then I found, because I could see my path forward, I did the other 7 in 2 days. So in 2 days' time, I did the 8 steps to get that project done, to get a project I've been procrastinating for years done. And later that summer in August, we were able to take a 4-day, beautiful, memorable, very low-cost vacation, one of the best ones we've ever taken. And I was kicking myself for not having adopted this very simple approach of making it a current project, identifying its next actions, and starting with the very next action to get it done.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple more examples, then we're going to practice. Eric and I needed a logo for our website, but it felt kind of overwhelming. We don't know how to make logos, but we had a designer in mind, and so we just sat down with markers and a sheet of paper, and we made this over here on the left, just some ideas. Then we took a picture of it and emailed it to our designer, who made this on the right, and that's how we got our logo. Or organizing a room. Stephanie was one of the before and afters. She said her room made her want to hyperventilate. So she said, I just went in and I set the timer for 15 minutes and I did what I could, and then I pulled out. And then over time, she was able to go in over and over and over again. She found the rug, it tied the room together, and she was able to create this spot just based on what she learned on the webinar. So let's go ahead and practice now. What is the very next specific, visible activity that will lead your chosen project toward completion? What is that activity that you think like, okay, that one thing I could do? 10 minutes in the closet pulling out shoes and taking half and putting them in a bag to donate? Or do you have some donation bags that just need to be loaded in the trunk of your car? Or is it something like with taxes, like, oh, I've just got to go buy the tax software, or I need to open my computer and install the tax software? Or is it something like I need to call my spouse to ask who's going to do, which part of this painting project or something like that? Okay, so we're saying like shred the loose papers for recycling. That's great if you could do that in 10 minutes. If you have a ton of papers, you'd want to say maybe take 10 minutes to shred the papers. Or I love this, organizing a room, go in 15 minutes, right? Do what you can. If you want to say, like, I'm going to work on the left corner of the room for 15 minutes, or I'm going to work on this one bookshelf, or I'm just going to pick up trash, that could help make it a little bit more specific. Doing something like going through overgrown clothes, I love that. And I would set a time limit for that, like 15 minutes or 1 drawer. Yeah, Cindy's saying separate shoes for donation. Place the sales ads on Facebook. And if at any point you go to do it and you think, I can't do it, you got to boil it down a little bit more, right? So you guys are doing a great job, okay? But you want this to be super simple. Like identify one pile, one shelf, 10 minutes researching, brainstorming, thinking about. All of that will work, okay? Now I'm going to take you into step 3 because I think this will help bring kind of a broader context to it. Most people, when they do identify a specific next action, they end up writing down a whole bunch of context all on one piece of paper or in one note. So it's just a big mess of projects and tasks, and some are errands and some are computer work, and it's all just kind of jumbled. Or some people use their email inbox as a to-do list, which that doesn't work either. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to have a very simple calendar, really simple. I want hardly anything on your calendar. I want it to only have your appointments for today and any tasks that have to be done today. But then I want you working by context. So we're going to have like a sheet of paper. I'll show you some apps you can use as well. But we're going to organize by where we are when we're doing the task. So let's say you wanted to clean your dining room. You could say, okay, while I'm at home, I'll spend 15 minutes clearing off the dining room table. Or under errands, I'm going to go buy a tape measure. Or to discuss, we're going to plan our next family photo and have that discussion with my spouse. Or phone, I'm going to call the accountant and set up an appointment. Or under computer, I'm going to email that logo photo to our designer and include a couple of links to other websites I like, where it's very specific and it's very, very simple. Now I'm going to skip ahead for a second to show you there's several different apps that work for this. Remember the Milk, Cozy, To Do, Pocket Informant. Eric uses Evernote, and he's going to talk about how he uses those exact same contexts. And this works for an entire week. We'll get more about that in a second.
Yeah, we just want to illustrate the principles that we're teaching here can be applicable to whatever system you like using. Sorry. If you're a paper and a planner type person like April is, this will work for you. If you like digital notes or digital apps like me, it'll work there, or a mixture of the two. Whatever works best for you, we just encourage you to figure out the approach that works and run with it. So you can see I just make a simple note inside of Evernote. Evernote's a digital note or a digital filing cabinet app, and it's amazing. There's a free version that's really, really powerful, very easy to use and learn. But I just make the same note. I call it a next actions note, and I actually refuse to think of this as a to-do list, because in my mind, a to-do list is something that's long, disorganized, has 30 things on it, and we only get about 5 or 6 of them done during the day, and then we feel guilty copying the other 24 over day after day to the next day. What I like to think of this as is a choice list, right? It's my next actions that need to be done to advance certain projects or certain kind of one-step daily activities that need to happen that week, and I put them there by context. We do it by context because it's the most powerful way to get things done. It's where we are when we need to get the things done. If we organize by category like work and home and school and church and community, that's where the task came from. It's not where we're going to be when we need to do it. And this is so much more effective even than organizing by A1, B2, C3, because it organizes where we are by what we need to do by where we are and when we'll be doing it. So if you have 10 or 15 minutes that pop up during the day and it's quiet and you have your phone or computer with you, you can do the phone or computer actions. You have a very focused list on where to go. If you're at home and 20 minutes pops up, even if it's a little bit chaotic and noisy, you can do the home actions, maybe even involve some family members helping you. This is the best way to take advantage of these windows of time that pop up for all of us throughout the day. And I promise, there are a few people saying, I'm so busy, I never have time pop up. I promise you, even the busiest among us do. These little islands of time when they pop up, this is the way to take advantage of them and get these projects we care about moving forward and done without investing any additional energy or time. So just give you a practical example, we have a son who practices basketball with the team across town about an hour and a half each week. And one day I was dropping him off and I was in the parking lot. I pulled out my phone and looked at this note in Evernote, my next actions list. And I saw there were 3 errands that I could run while I was in that part of town. I'm like, great, I'll take advantage of the hour. But because I was organized in this way, by context, I saw there were 4 phone calls that I needed to make, and all 4 of those people would be available at that time of day. I'm like, great, I'll pop in my earpiece, and I made the 4 phone calls while I ran the 3 errands. So I got 7 actions done to move various projects of mine forward that month with an extra hour that popped up in my schedule. And the best part was I made it back to his practice, about 20 minutes to spare. I was able to watch him finish up and talk with him and hang out with him on the drive home. And I was able to move my projects, my life forward, not by investing any additional time or energy, but taking advantage of these windows of time when they pop up. Of all 4 of the steps we're going to teach today, this one, working by next action from a context-based list, was the biggest game changer for me because it really is helping me get the projects I care about done without exhausting me or overwhelming me or taking more time. And I hope it will be for you as well.
Yeah, so while there are a lot of different options for what you could use to manage your tasks, I don't want you to get caught up in like having to find the perfect one. Even if you just got out a piece of paper and said, okay, here's my home, phone, errands, computer to discuss, and just had it on a sheet of paper, that's a way to start. And then you could transfer it. But here's a few more details. This is one list created or updated per week. So remember, you have a very simple calendar with hardly anything on it of just your appointments and tasks that have to be done. then this next actions list includes tasks for the projects you're working on that week. So let's say I wanted to work on a variety of projects this month, maybe 8 projects total, but I said, well, what I'm going to do is work on 2 or 3 of them really intensely this week. I'll put the next actions for those 2 or 3 on my list for this week. Now, your next actions list can also include extra one-step tasks. So like if I see my boy's hair needs to be cut, I could just say, oh, you know what, now's a good time to get their hair cut. And I just put it on the errands list because it's flexible, right? Now, the great thing about this list is it's not calendar specific. So your calendar is all you have to look at when you wake up in the morning. That has your deadlines. But then you, of course, have other things you want to work on. You're just going to work by context, by where you are. So your brain feels open. You feel like you have all these options and ideas for the day. And then you don't feel like your calendar is running you with everything scheduled or everything weighing on you. Super short lists get done. So let's just go ahead and practice. I want you guys just to let me know in the chat. Where will you be when you're doing your next action? If it's something like, yeah, cleaning out that hall closet, you'd be at home, obviously. If it's something like, I've got to print some passport applications, that would be computer. Or if it's like, got to go pick up some paint samples, you put Aaron, right? So just go ahead and just kind of type them in. Okay, so we see a lot of home tasks that people want to get done. Some computer, home, okay, awesome. All right, so now we're going to go into step 4, which is where we're going to learn what you do during a day, all right? So when I wake up in the morning, before I would jump into email or social media or anything, I first look at my calendar to see what I have for the day. So no morning appointments would pop up on me. I wouldn't forget anything. So I look at my calendar to kind of get a framework for the day. Then I work by context. So in the morning while my kids are getting ready for school, I'm working on home tasks. When they leave for school, I'm working on computer things. Then when we're running errands later in the afternoon, I'll group my errands so that I'm not jumping around all day from context to context. You also look at time and energy. So if you have a lot of time and a lot of energy, that's a great time to start on the garage or a great time to work on that book. And when you're low energy and you've got just a few minutes, you could just sort a little drawer or do a few emails or something like that. The reason why priority is last is because you're prioritizing what's inside the context. So while I'm out running errands, I say, what's the most important errand for me to run right now? When I'm at the computer, I ask, what's the most important thing? People are always sending me texts and emails trying to derail me, right? That happens to you too. But when you know I'm working from priority right now, all that other stuff can wait and you're going to go ahead and do what needs to be done. So let's go ahead and just review what we learned today, all right? First, we just talked about making that current projects list. The 7 to 8 total tasks organized by me, my family, and beyond. These are the multi-step tasks, projects that could actually get done within a month. Then you effectively identify a next action for each of your projects. So you're going to think of it like that first piece of Pez. What's that very next action that's so easy I couldn't even procrastinate if I tried? Then you take the next actions for the projects you'd like to work on that week, and you put them on your list, organized by home, phone, errands, to discuss, and computer. And then finally, during the day, you're just going to work from context, over here you see on the left, and time and energy and priority. So you're making wise decisions each day as far as what you're accomplishing. Now, I know I've given you a lot of information. Some of you, this feels like it's learning a new language. Some of you, it's actually making a lot of sense and you're super excited. Now, I'm not asking if you have this memorized. I'm asking, do you feel hopeful? Do you feel like you could at least see the light at the end of the tunnel, even if it's faint, to go from where you are right now with this one project to actually being able to move forward on it, get it started, get it moving? Okay, we're seeing a whole lot of yeses, yes, yes, absolutely. Some maybes, yes. Some of you are like, I do feel hopeful, maybe, yes. Okay, so and it's okay if some of you are a little bit like, kind of, I feel like I was kind of distracted. I need to try this again. I'm sending you the replay and I'm sending you the slides so you can review it. For some of you, this is going to be enough and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to just take this and work with it, but thank you. And others of you are going to say, okay, but I'm ready for more mental clarity. Like, okay, I'm getting how we're going to organize tasks and projects. What about the routines? What about helping the family get on board? What about the rest of the Command Central? Can you show me the big picture? Can you answer my questions? Can you coach me so I can have a full Command Central like you have? Now, if that's you, we have a program called Steps to Everyday Productivity where we serve you better. I know everyone's different, so we have two options: a self-study, which really is a do-it-yourself, and a mastery, where it's like the community. You want to come in with people who've already done it just like you and have coaches there to walk you through. Now, I want to ask though, how long do you think it takes to get organized? Because I hear people all the time saying, I just don't have time to get organized. Do you think it's going to take a year or forever or infinity? We're like saying a long time. What if I told you we could get your Command Central up and running in 2 weeks, like 15 to 20 hours self-paced? And what if I told you there had never one time been anyone who'd gone through these 8 modules and had not been successful? Now, whether you're interested in joining a program or not, I want to walk you through these 8 modules and show you what it entails, because if you are drowning, this is your way out right here. And I'm going to zoom in and show you what they are. So first, you need to make time and create space. This was my first Command Central, but you need some little spot that's yours. I didn't have an office, so I just put a little card table in the corner of my bedroom, and I made this April's office, right? Since then, people have sent me photos of theirs and showed me how their Command Central is very unique. It can be 100% digital if you really don't have any space, but most people can find at least some sort of a nook or a little corner or area where they can build some little desk. And if you have a dream office, that's awesome. It's going to be even dreamier. We'll show you how to make it work. Module 2 is getting your emails to zero, because we found that very few people know the thrill of living out of inbox zero. So we're going to teach you, even if you have 150,000, you can get them to zero in just a couple of hours, not by bulk deleting, but learning how to use filters and rules and how to extract the tasks from the emails so you're not using your inbox as your checklist. Module 3 is collecting your tools. I'm going for function first, and then we're going for beauty if you want it to be beautiful. But I'm going to help you know what kinds of things you're going to need. So you're not just sitting at the office supply store buying a bunch of stuff. You're actually going to know what you're looking for. And then module 4 is creating your system. So it's like Legos. I'm going to help you build a Command Central. Like I explained with a Command Central, it's like building a car. If you're missing any of the pieces, the car is not going to run. But what if you could bring someone from one of the top car automotive companies who could come to you and say, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. I'm going to show you step by step how you build it, your current project support materials, your routines, your tickler. I'll show you why you need them, what they are, help you build them, physical or digital. And then once it's built, it's time to gather your stuff. We're going to feed the machine. Now, when you feed it, you've got to gather all the papers, bills, flyers, receipts, all the stuff that's sitting in piles that can actually be decided upon. We're not gathering things like painting supplies, and electronics. We're gathering things that actually have an action or a task associated. And we're doing a mind sweep, getting everything out of your head. Now, this part might initially feel a little bit overwhelming, but it quickly becomes fun because you go into module 6, where now you become a master at processing. The reason why you have piles is because nobody ever showed you a system to accommodate the fire hose. This flowchart is going to show you what to do with the fire hose. You're going to learn exactly what you need so that everything has a landing place. What happens is someone hands you a piece of paper and says, I need you to make a phone call on this, decide on it by next Tuesday, and get back to me by Wednesday if you need me to do X, Y, or Z. But that has so many tasks, you just set it in a pile because you don't want to forget it, but you don't know what to do about it. We'll show you how the piles don't even need to be there anymore, because now your Command Central gives you that place. Nothing's in limbo. If you've tried before to build a system and then it just never stayed that way, it just got messy again, it's probably because you never did a consistent weekly review that actually holds everything in place and keeps it up to date. Your weekly review, it's 10 steps you're going to work through. It's like 1 hour a week that saves you 10. That's awesome. Now, I told you I would tell you about the routines list. Look over here on the bottom right. Daily, weekly, monthly, twice a year, and yearly. You're going to organize your routines by how often you do them. And then like here down the left, you can have it organized by things like home or personal, family. Have all of your routines so simple so that these are going to be on autopilot. When your routines are established on autopilot and you have a super simple streamlined calendar, and then you work with this next actions list we talked about today, that is the trifecta. That's how I get so much done during the day without stress. And we'll show you how to make that work. Now, module 8 is completing your projects and dreams. Do you feel like there's something that you're uniquely meant to do to help other people, but you can never get to it because of the stuff? People in the past have shared things like becoming a coach, reaching back to help others be successful, getting that business from concept to reality, or Maria saying just to enjoy the day-to-day things and not feel stressed and crazy.
Yeah, this is my very favorite part of the class. Every time we're able to get to it, I love being able to share this part because Module 8 is the reason we're building everything, right? Module 8 is the last module. It's entitled Complete Your Projects and Your Dreams, because we've talked about these 4 steps that every one of us, we hope, will put into practice today. April's gone through these different 8 modules to build a system at a command central, but we're not teaching it productivity for effectiveness and productivity's sake. We're teaching it so that you can become more streamlined, to focus on all the things that have to get done as quickly as possible, like taking care of your own personal needs, taking care of your home and family's needs, doing the work that you do to provide for your family, but being able to do that effectively and streamlined so there's more time, energy, and space in your life to be able to do the things that matter most to you. And the things, by things, we mean the people, the relationships, and the causes that you hold most dear. Because think about it, if you had an extra 5 or 10 hours that opened up each week, how would you really want to use that time? Who would you spend it with? Maybe look inward for a moment and just think of the different talents, gifts, and abilities that you've been blessed with or that you've worked hard to develop. And think about how you would love to use those to serve, to uplift, to inspire others. This is why we're teaching these principles, because we want to help you get your life back and the life that you want to have with those around you, those people and things that you care the most about. So maybe if you will, just share in the text chat, how would you spend some of that extra time if we're able to help you create and find it? Where would you give that time to make the world a better place? A lot of times people will think of this as their mission, their purpose, their ministry, their calling. Whatever you may think of it as, just maybe share in the text chat how you would use that time to serve and uplift to make the world better.
So we're seeing things like sharing my music, right? Sharing more time with my husband, learn to knit, paint, hang out with my kids, build my business, help people share memories. Like each of you know there's something that you're meant to do, but the clutter is holding you back. And we are so excited to have a chance to help you get to do this. Now, if you're wondering, well, okay, but what does the actual module look like? Or what would the process look like if I used a program to help me do this? At the beginning of each module, we have a very specific goal and then bite-sized lessons. I know you're drowning, so I'm not giving you hours and hours of stuff. I'm giving you 5 to 10-minute lessons where literally you click into a step. It's like a video for 5 minutes, and we even have the transcript if you can't watch the video. We want this to be super simple and quick. Just like today, we zoomed in and showed you on the context-based next actions and the current projects, all the nuances. We're going to actually go deeper on those and then show you the nuances for everything else. I'm going to help you one step at a time to build the command central so it doesn't feel like a lot, show you how it works together, and show you how to use it. It's learning a new skill, but you build this once, you never have to build it again. We've put together worksheets for you, super simple. We've got audios, videos. You can come into our home office. We'll show you what we do, and you can make it either look like ours or you can adapt it to how you want it. Now that's the STEP self-study program. There's some additional support in STEP mastery. Now, this comparison chart, we're going to email you in a few minutes, and it will be on the join page if you would like, but I'm just going to zoom in and show you what's different between self-study and mastery. They both have the 8 assignments, they both have video and audio trainings and all the checklists, but then we're going to go a little bit deeper. So step mastery is just more support. Things like all access license for a spouse. You will most likely be the one who comes in and starts doing it, but then so often we have a spouse who says, you know what, you're doing amazing stuff. I want to do it too. It's very natural for you to come in together. Then we have an exclusive Facebook group where you get to see people posting their celebrations. Look at this before and after. She wanted to craft more. And look, the room up above, there's no way, but the room below, you can actually do it. Amy came into our group and posted this. Today I worked 8 hours, folded the kids' laundry, made dinner, did dishes, got 4 hours of schoolwork done. She's in a master's program. Spent time with my babies, got the gift for a special person, finished and taped for shipping, corrected a potentially disastrous insurance error, and I even had an hour for fun. All of this with no stress. I'm not even finished with the modules yet. Life changing. This is super normal from what we hear, is that people come in and their piles start disappearing. And you're like, well, where are they going? Did people hire a professional organizer to do it for them? No, they came in the program and learned how to do this themselves, how to organize what was in their mind, and how to finally handle that fire hose, which starts creating order all around them. Step Mastery has some supportive onboarding coaching emails for you. And there's 3 live group coaching calls. Now, if you join today, you're actually going to get 4 because we have one next week. So we're throwing in a 4th for you. But these coaching calls, you get to come in and now you're able to have the opportunity to ask questions and come behind the scenes in our office. And if you can't make it, it's okay. You still submit your questions, we still answer them, and then we send you the timestamped recording. Now there's a special bonus we have with Step Mastery. If you'd like to purchase our Mastery program, within the webinar offer, we have a Step library that's included only here on the webinar. These are additional resources. It's a treasure trove. Like, you're going to love this. And I'll show just a few things that are in it. Like creating your day. This is actually coming to you free. It's in the library, but all of you get this today for being here on the class. It's an audio and template to help you take what you're learning and be able to make each day about what you're becoming and not just about tasks. So I hope you'll love that. That's coming by email. Inside the STEP library, we have building a STEP system for kids. You're going to help your children learn how to organize their projects, their papers, and be more involved in the housework so you're not the only one doing it. And then the 7-step plan to organize the home and office is if you're just like, I just want to clean my whole house. Can you show me how to do that? We've taken the best decluttering books, put them into a 7-step process with an audio and a template to make it easy for you. And then a third one we have is Evernote tips for step success. If you think Evernote's confusing, but you know it's powerful, we're going to show you how you're going to use it in conjunction with your STEP program. We've even built the entire STEP program inside Evernote with done-for-you templates, so you can just save them to your own account and it's already built. So again, here's that comparison chart. If you want to go deeper and you're excited about this, we would love to have you. If you would like to be one of the first 10 people today to join Step Mastery, that's the one on the right, we'll also give you a free self-study for a friend, the one on the left. So you join the one that has the access for your spouse and the Facebook and coaching and more of that support, and we give you a free self-study that a friend can now have their own login, a coworker, a parent, someone who can now do this with you to be your accountability partner. So that's for the first 10 who would like to join Mastery. Now, as we jump into pricing, I want you to just think about the cost of being disorganized. I know we try to shove this to the side, but the fact of the matter is when you're disorganized, money is slipping through the cracks. Do you have overdue library fees, late fees on bills? You're wasting money on gas. When you waste time, that's wasting money too. Also, think about the benefits to having a seamless system. Can you imagine yourself finally getting that business up and running, or finally being able to get that certification and now you're the one getting hired or getting promoted? It's exciting to think what that does. So here's kind of a final checklist to help you know if this is for you. My job is not to sell programs. My job is to help you know if this is what you've been looking for to give you that relief and get out of the drowning. So if you're ready to calm your mind, be more present, clear the clutter in your life, establish clear routines, have more personal and professional balance, and wake up excited and go to bed content, that's what we're here to help you to do. Now, you can post any questions in the Q&A or send it private to panelists. I am going to keep the text chat open. I just ask that you keep it positive and encouraging because some people feel anxiety at this point, and I don't want anyone to feel anxious. If this isn't the right fit for you right now, it is totally okay, all right? So here's our special webinar options if you would like to join our program. Our self-study program is regularly $247 and Mastery is regularly $497. You can buy at full price at any time on our homepage. We do not open and close like every 6 months. We're always open. But for the next 48 hours, you can take advantage of the $197 for self-study and the $397 for mastery. You don't have to decide right now. You have 48 hours. But if you would like to be one of the first 10 who join mastery, the one on the right, you'll also receive the free self-study for a friend, and I'll show you how you can access that. It will be in your account, and you don't have to give it away today. Now, you can do one pay or multi-pay. We don't charge anything extra, and there's a 60-day, no questions asked, full refund. I don't want you to feel stressed about this. I want you excited. Now, if you already know you want to join Mastery and you would like the free self-study for a friend, Eric and I sent you an email that should be in your inbox now that has an expiring link. It's good for 48 hours. If you're like, I just want in, I'm so excited, I want to be one of the first, jump on in, we'd love to have you. Eric has also put the link in the text chat, so you can do either one. Now, this is an expiring link, which means that it is going to take you to a page that will let you purchase at the lowest price we'll ever offer. If you click the link between now and Saturday night, you can get in at this lowest price, the $197 or $397. If you click the link after, it's going to go to an expiration page and the bonuses won't be available at that time, all right? Now, again, you have multiple payment options and lifetime access. We give you immediate access to the entire program when you join. So for less than $67 today, you could come into either program, and when you come in, you have access to all 8 modules. If you're in Mastery, you have access to the entire STEP library, and you can come immediately into the Facebook group. You get access to the live Q&A call archives, and you'll be invited to 4 live Q&A calls. The first one would be next week, kind of an added bonus. Plus, your spouse can come in, and if you want to be one of the first 10, you can have a free self-study for a friend. We've put this together so you have all the support you need and you can feel super excited about it. Now, there's already a question coming in about upgrades and downgrades. If you think, well, what if I start with self-study? Can I upgrade to mastery later? You can. Right now, it's $247 to upgrade from self-study to mastery. So you save about $50 if you start with mastery. You can downgrade within the 60 days from mastery to self-study. So that's an option as well. If you're on the fence, because this is probably the most common question we get, Mastery offers the best support. So when you come into Mastery, that's how I know I can take the best care of you. You're going to have the Facebook group. You'll have the Q&A opportunities. That STEP library is rich with resources, and I'll show you more about that later. Plus, we set it up where in the STEP library, we help you get your kids on board. And a spouse is included with Mastery. So now you have this support all around you. Plus, you have that 60 days to explore the program. And if you wanted to be one of our first 10, you could receive the free self-study for a friend, okay? So I hope you can feel clear about that and feel excited. If you own a business and you're thinking, okay, well, maybe could this be a business expense? We can't give tax advice. For a lot of people, they say, yes, this actually works really well as a business expense. You can always talk to your accountant to check on that. But we have found too that employers often want to purchase this for their employees. Maybe they'll pay for all of it, or maybe they'll pay for half of it. Or we've had some people who got reimbursed once they got their emails to zero and got their system set up. So that's kind of a fun incentive as well. Now, here's the pricing again. I'm going to stop for a second and see if Eric has any questions he wants to answer. There's a whole lot coming in. Super excited for you.
There's just a lot of great compliments and comments coming in. Thank you so much for those. For a few of you, it isn't the right time to buy, either from a time or financial standpoint. We totally get that. We want to encourage everyone to take the 4 steps you've learned. The Create Your Day program you'll receive in about an hour, and start putting those into practice. You will get amazing results from those. Because we want everyone who spent that hour with us to get real benefit, real value from this time. We hope it's been helpful to you. If you feel like one of these programs is the right fit, we're having a number of you come into the program. We're so excited for you. So welcome and congratulations. We're excited to serve and support you there. Like April said, the very best way to come in, if you're looking at those 2 programs, we just strongly encourage you come into the Mastery, because it's $67 on a monthly basis to start a program today. Come in and use that 60-day money-back guarantee and just get all the benefit and resources of the Mastery program. You're going to be amazed at that Facebook community. It is one of the best places I've ever been in Facebook. I'm not a big Facebook user, but the people there are amazing. There's about 1,500 people who've come in over the years. They're all active and really encouraging, supportive, provide a lot of great ideas and help and support. You can take advantage of the Step Mastery library, the resources that are ready for you and you're ready for them. And you can be part of this live Q&A call that we do once a month. And then if you decide for any reason you're just not elated with the results you're getting, the way your life's moving forward, you're absolutely free to take advantage of that money-back guarantee to either downgrade or to get a full refund. Now, we have hardly anybody who comes in and downgrades, because once they get in there, they see that community and all the resources, they love it. They don't want to give that up. And they absolutely see the program paying for itself every month. Those first 6 months, you'll make that monthly payment, and then it's yours for life. You have lifetime access, and then these skills, these abilities, these resources are yours forever. So we just encourage you. It's the very best way we have to take care of, serve, and support you. Come in and take advantage of all of it. And for those of you who might be self-employed, have an LLC, be an entrepreneur, you absolutely could look at this as a deductible business expense. Like April said, we're not giving tax advice, but this absolutely will help you get professional gains and be able to move forward in your life. We want to help you do that. The cool thing is it comes with side benefits in the professional and family life as well, where you have all these resources to bring your family, your spouse along with you, and you see amazing gains. And if you work for a company, if you have an employer, we've had a lot of our community members have great success getting a full or a partial reimbursement from their employer, because it is a training development opportunity to become better professionally. In fact, a lot of managers will ask that person to come in and teach some classes or a few things they've learned, and they're able to benefit their coworkers, and their life becomes easier because the people they work with understand some of these principles and work in the same way. So anyway, just hope that's helpful to you. For those who are interested or just kind of on the fence there, saying, I would love to do this, but not quite sure how to make it work, we promise we're there to help you get all the success and be able to have all the progress moving forward that you want. This program really does work.
Okay, such good questions coming in. Okay, I love the enthusiasm. I'm so excited for you. You guys are being wonderful. Now, I'm going to put the offer again right here. Now, again, our official class is over. If you need to jump off, no problem. We're going to send you the replay. We'll send you Create Your Day. So glad you're here. If this isn't the right time, take advantage of what you learned today. Apply the 4 steps. Now, let me go ahead, though, and explain more about the offer, because I know a lot of people are excited and want to know, how did I get the free self-study for a friend? How can I do that? Okay, so if you just want to buy self-study, you can buy now, or you can buy today through Saturday night. You don't have to decide right this minute. If you want Mastery and you just want the best pricing we'll ever offer, all the bonuses that come with it, and the step library, but you're not concerned about the free self-study for a friend, you can buy tomorrow or Saturday as well. Some people really won't be concerned about that, and that's fine. But if you're like, I already know I want Mastery, I would love to have a friend do this with me, then you'll want to be one of our first 10. And if you've bought so far, you are in the first 10. We still do have some room, so don't stress. If you're like, I have a few more questions that haven't been answered, please stay on. We'll keep answering your questions. And again, you can always buy at full price. So the options are here for you. I just hope that makes sense for you. I'm going to share a little bit more about the step library, and I'm going to share some before and afters and pictures here. The main thing that I want you to know is that this works for the people who come in. So let me show you some of the testimonials that have been coming through, because I think it's exciting to see, well, what's other people's experience? People just like you who have been struggling with piles and who just need this help. Okay, so Shelly says, because I noted in my calendar I needed to pay 2 credit card payments on the 10th, and because I'm now checking my calendar every morning, because remember, it doesn't feel overwhelming anymore, they actually got paid on time. Score, no late fees. I'm starting to feel just a teensy bit triumphant. Then she came back on and said, Steph has caused me to dodge another financial bullet. I won't read the whole thing. You could scan it if you'd like, but look at the bottom. It says, so far, I've caught over $365 worth of leakage because I'm keeping my inboxes clean. That just about pays for the program. Disorganization costs. Just want to share that because I think that's really inspiring from someone who actually has gone through the program, someone who was having stuff leak through, but she recognized it and she's like, I'm going to plug it, right? I'm going to go seal the cracks. Or this is from Anitra, who came into the program. And look at her before and after that she posted shortly after joining. I asked her if I could share it here on the webinar. And she's like, sure, I'd be honored. And she's like, but I've only done half the room. I'm like, half the room? Look at this. If you're living right now in some sort of pile that's either mental or physical, and you literally don't even know what to do with it because all you end up doing is moving piles around, you're going to replace that with a command central. Because how do you feel when you walk into the room below and you see that you now have a clear space and you see that you know how to organize projects and you know how to get things done? That's exciting and it's empowering, which is what I want you to experience. Now, I love what Glenda said. She says, I want to do the mastery, but only if I do it. It will be worth it if I do it. Okay, and I love how you phrase that because that's exactly it. If you don't intend to open the program, then absolutely don't buy it. You've got to open it for it to work. But here's the thing. Every time you just open the program and do 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to be getting 10 times that back over and over and over again. It's going to compound on itself. This is not a program that's going to sit on the shelf for you to procrastinate. This is the program that teaches you you're actually not a procrastinator. It's just no one ever showed you how to build a command central. I have helped thousands of people over the last 8 years to teach them how to do this. This is not something I'm new at doing. This is something I've been doing for years. I've spent more than 3,000 hours just learning how to teach people how to do this. So any question you have, any roadblock you come up against, it's not going to be a surprise to us. In fact, most of your questions are already anticipated and they're in the program. Then if you have further things that you're like, well, what about this? Well, what about this? That's why we have the Facebook group. That's why we have the Q&As, to give you that support and help you feel excited. If you've bought programs in the past and they're sitting there and you don't even know where your logins are, we can help fix that. This program is actually going to help unlock those other programs. And I know that because here's the thing. I buy programs and I invest in myself consistently. I started super small. I started with my library card. I started with free audio trainings. Then I started moving into little conferences and inexpensive programs. Now I invest heavily in myself, but I have a system that enables me to do it. And that's what I want to show you how to do. When people come in the program, they're setting it up where now they have, this one person put it inside their kitchen cupboard. How fun is that, right? Awesome and exciting. I'm going to share a few more testimonials. Eric, let me know if you want, or it looks like you have something you want to answer here.
Well, I was just going to hit something up really quick.
And a couple people are having issues signing up.
Yeah, so I was going to say, and
okay.
so I just put the link there and there. If you're having any issue whatsoever, maybe just try a different browser or maybe a different device. Yeah, that page should be loading up immediately and let you right in. It's a completely secure page, kind of managed by Stripe. All of your transactions come through a company called SamCart. So we accept all major credit cards and PayPal, and it's totally secure. We never see any customer information on our side. We don't want to. It's all processed by a totally encrypted, credit card processing company in Stripe or in PayPal. And Karen was asking if we are live. Yes, we are absolutely live. And she also said hopeful, but also hopeful that money back guarantee will not be difficult to obtain if this does not work for me. And absolutely, we get that. You let us know. You just reach out to us either by replying to one of our emails or contacting us through the site. If it isn't the right fit for you, we absolutely process all refunds on Friday, and they come right back to you. No questions, no hassle, no issue. But like April said, we want to encourage people, if they want to come into the program, come in with the intent of putting it to work, getting the results. Don't just come into it, kind of dip your foot in the pool and say, oh, could this possibly work? We promise you, if you'll come in and put just a little bit of effort consistently into it, you'll get amazing results. And if it isn't the right fit, if it isn't helping you in the way that you work or think, we're absolutely happy to give you that money back. Our business is doing well. We want to make sure every one of our customers, every one of our community members is well taken care of. So we're absolutely here to serve and support you. I want to let you know that you have our full commitment there to helping you succeed. And if it isn't the right fit, we'll get it back to you. But like April said, we have a lower than 2% refund rate because when people come in and they get the results, they love it, they love the community, and they love to go forward.
I loved Glenda's like, I signed up for the mastery. Please help me from drowning. Yes, we are here for you and cannot wait for you to come in. Your next step, I'm going to show you a slide in a minute to show you where you're going to want to go. But really, it's going to be like module 1, step 1. We practice what we preach. The entire program is next actions. So there's nothing that you have to like not do. I don't know if you answered a question asking about someone who said their office is a disaster of chaos. Okay, I'll answer this one. Someone says, I have a major question. My office is such a disaster of chaos, I don't even know where to begin. I literally have anxiety attacks walking into my office. Okay, number 1, you're not alone, all right? This is something that I struggled with for years. Totally gotten over it now because I learned how to build a command central. This program was made for you because we know that you're feeling stress about it, because it's not just the mess. There's a lot of emotions involved with that, where maybe you're like thinking about the projects you're not getting done, or thinking about maybe where you're not where you want to be in your life because you know you have more potential than what you're seeing right now, right? So when you come into this program, module 1 is going to help you clear a little space. And we have people who are coming in the program posting in the Facebook group saying things like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that these little tiny steps I was going to start taking were going to relieve so much stress. My mind's already feeling clearer. I'm going to show you some additional testimonials from people who seriously just in module 1 are already like, I know this is going to work for me. What's exciting about that is you can complete module 1 in like 30 minutes or something like that and get it done. And then you'll know if this is good for you or not. And we aren't here to have you buy something and then give you a hassle to get a return. We're here to change your life. So I want you to come in and be like, I'm going to make this happen. I want you to give it 60 days and I want you to do it. But I have a 100% guarantee because I know it works. And if it doesn't, I want to give you your money back, right? Amy Porterfield, I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she has a huge online community and she had a ton of emails that were overwhelming her. She's brilliant, but was feeling stressed because there was just so much stuff. So she says, I'm happy to say I'm at inbox 0 every single day. Kind of crazy, right? Has a better system for her Asana, for Evernote, just a better system in general. I love what she said here. I've had so much relief. And she says, I'm way more productive and efficient, but more importantly, the space in my mind has freed up considerably. I actually never believed it was possible. Now, I know when you're in the middle of drowning and you hear someone who's not drowning, you're like, yeah, but they don't know my life. Maybe they don't have all the interruptions I have, or maybe they believe in themselves more than I do. This is not the case. It's just that I've finally been taught. I didn't come up with all this on my own. I've been taught from a variety of teachers. I've been attending conferences since I was 17. Like, this is what I do. And my mission is to help be the answer that you need to solve this problem. I want to empower you to be able to do this on your own so that you don't have to sit in this drowning anymore. Now, Janice is one of the people I was talking about who came into module 1, and she bought Step Mastery that morning. By 1:02 p.m., she sends me this email. I'm loving this already. She said I could share it with you. I especially love how you've broken down each module into steps, so I don't have a 30 to 45-minute video to view that ends up never getting watched because I feel like I have no spare time. I can tell you're already teaching me how to break things down into smaller chunks of time. Now, what we teach you is super unique to what's in any other program I've ever experienced. Most programs I buy are full of videos that are a half hour, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, and sure, I'll carve out time and watch them, and I implement them all the time. But this program is unique in that it's 5 to 10 minutes and it's actionable. You go in order every step. Now, module 2 is the only one you can do later if you want. You can skip the email or you could do it early on, but it's pretty awesome to do early. That's why we do that.
Okay, we just got a couple questions you might want to touch on. So
okay.
Karen or Linda's saying, I got to go to a doctor appointment. What do I need to do first? So she's just coming to Mastery along with a lot of other people.
Awesome.
And then we have a number of other people who have asked some kind of more specific on this circumstance or this circumstance that I think would be helpful to get to and answer.
Okay.
So we start with Glenda briefly, and then we'll come back to those questions about getting yourself organized.
Okay, so excited for you and all those who have joined. When you join, you just sit on that join page. You don't have to click on anything. Within 5 minutes, you'll receive an email that has their auto login link. When you log in, there's a getting started section. Now, all the modules are on that page. I just want you to go through module 1, step 1, and you're going to go through the 8 modules. But what I think you're going to want to do is download this checklist. It's inside that getting started section. There's a little video for you. The checklist is there. Now, if you have ink in your printer, I want you to print this and put it on a clipboard, because this is your project outline right here. Step by step, it's all outlined for you, and it's easy. It's like, watch this 10-minute video, check. Watch the 7-minute video, check. Like, we're giving you trainings. We're gonna give you just basic assignments. It's really easy. If you don't have ink in your printer, then I want you to save it digitally to your computer and check it off digitally, all right? Because I know you've got so much going on. Ink in the printer is probably one of the last things that's concerning you. So if you have ink, print. If you don't, fine. If you're in Mastery, I want you to come request access to the Facebook group. You scroll down below your modules, see how it says 7, 8, those are the bottom modules. You click on the Facebook group icon right below that and you request access, and we'll get you in, because you're gonna wanna introduce yourself. And you're gonna wanna check out the conversations in there, because it's awesome. If you wanna add your spouse, that's the link. The Q&A calls will send another link to register, but you can go right in there and register. That's happening next week. Your library, all of that's just there for you. You don't need to stress about it. You wanna go through the modules first, all right? The free self-study for a friend, though, let me answer this, because I know a lot of people were excited about the free self-study for a friend. If you've purchased so far, yes, you are one of our first 10. We still have some room. So if you'd like to come in, we would love to have you. When you log in, it'll say free self-study for a friend. See how it's in red on the top left? You don't have to give it away today. You have lifetime access. But here's what I would do. I would go into the program and click around. You can access everything right now. It's 100% available to you. Then I would just to make sure like it's legitimate, right? Because you want to bring a friend into something legitimate, which it is. I just want you to know. And then when you're ready, you think, well, okay, which friend would actually do this? And identify that friend. I would call them on the phone and say, hey, I just bought this awesome program. I'm going to get my emails to 0. I'm going to get rid of all the clutter in my life. Do you want to do it with me? There's 8 modules. I have a 60-day money back guarantee, and I want you to come in and let's prove we can do it. Let's work together. Then when your friend says, I'm totally in, thank you so much, you come here and there's a blue link at the bottom. You click that when you're ready to type in your friend's name and email. So look on the right, that's the box that will pop up. Friend's name, friend's email, your name, your email. We email your friend their own login to self-study. Now, once you click that link and enter the information, this deletes from your account. So you can only do it one time, but you can do it whenever you want. Then your friend, we're not going to email your friend anymore. They just will get their login. Then they would have to opt in to any additional emails. So their information is totally safe with us. We're just going to give them access. If they would like to upgrade from self-study to mastery, they can. Their link is going to be at the bottom of their homepage. Okay, so that's there for you. So if you need to jump off, you can jump off, no problem. I'm going to go back and share a couple more testimonials, but I'm going to answer some of the questions that were coming in. Eric, do you think it's best if I just go through and look through the chat, or what's the best way for me to answer the questions?
I'm going to throw you a couple of them if you want.
Okay, yeah, if you want to just do that, that'd be great.
So Darlene's asking, how can I get organized today if I have 20 projects in mind and have difficulty focusing?
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you've got to narrow those projects down. Now, I know that's tricky. I totally get it. Let me go ahead and zip over to the STEP library, and I'll show you a resource that's there if you decide you want to join Mastery that could help you a little bit more with that. So hang on one second. We'll bring the STEP library in here. There we go. Okay, one second. Okay, so inside the STEP library, we have a lot of resources, but I don't want to overwhelm you with them. It's seriously a treasure trove. In fact, I have a coach who's walking through some stuff with me. She's like, April, you've got to take some stuff out of the STEP library and just make them like bonuses that people can earn or something like that. Because she's like, it's just too much you're giving away. So like, she's like, it's seriously a treasure trove. But right now, all of that's in there for you, okay? So you get access to everything in the STEP library, and you're grandfathered in to keep that. But look over here on the bottom right. We're going to teach you how to streamline your projects. I know that when you have a lot of things that are important, it's easy to feel like every project needs to happen right now. I went through that for years where I was like, well, I've got to do this, everything needs me. It all depends on me. I'm falling behind. I'm a failure. Like I had all those voices going through my head. We're going to actually teach you a system where you're able to get all the projects out and start deciding on where they go. Because when you can finally make those decisions and narrow your current projects down, I only have like 2 or 3 business projects that I work on at a time. I have 80 projects I want to do, but those are waiting next in line, and I focus. But guess what happens when I focus? I get all my projects done. Like Eric and I discuss which projects are most important. I'm going to get them all done. Like that's just how I work. And it doesn't stress me out. It's just going to happen. So that would be a really good resource for you that's available right now if you'd like it.
Yeah, absolutely. So CM Kathy's actually asking, if I do self-paced, can I do it without the library, etc.?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the self-study comes with just the 8 modules you'll go through to build the whole Command Central, get your system up and running, get your emails down to 0. It's really kind of more the do-it-yourself kind of version. And if you're a self-motivated, you kind of keep yourself on task and get things done, it's a great option. Mastery is just twice the price at the discounted pricing, and it literally has probably 4 to 5 times the value in it. All the resources, the modules, the library, the access to the Facebook group. So a lot of people will say, yeah, I think I'm pretty self-motivated, I can do this. And it's really, of the 2% refunds we have, the majority of them come from self-study because people want and would benefit from having a little bit more help and hands-on kind of support there. So like we've said, if you have the ability to come in through the payments, because it's $67 on either one, our recommendation would be come into Mastery. It's not a sales tactic, I promise. It's just a very easy way to get a free option on all the other stuff that's there, because for $67, you can go one of 2 ways. We'd encourage you to take the one that offers you the broadest horizon of all the resources available to you. And then if you want to reevaluate that at day 50, just put a tickler or a kind of a calendar reminder in your phone, maybe on like March 20th, saying, evaluate how I feel about the STEP Mastery program. And what I will assure you is that you'll be really excited and you'll want to stay. But if you don't, just let us know and we'll get you refunded or downgraded, wherever you'd like to go. So that'd be the recommendation I would give you there. But you absolutely, self-study is great if you are truly a self-starting do-it-yourselfer. It's got all the resources to build the Command Central. Mastery is just the best way we have to take care of and support you.
Okay, thank you so much, Eric. There have been so many comments coming through. I've been trying to read through to see.
Questions.
I did put up just a comparison chart again. This is on the join page, so I won't spend too much more time on this. I want to show you some more photos and show you what other people have gone through. But really, like, if you don't feel like you would need the extra support of Mastery, self-study is great. Like, and if you got the free self-study for a friend, it's a great gift to give to a friend. It gives you all of these same exact information on how to build the Command Central. And as far as support goes, we stand behind everything we sell. So if you come into self-study and you're like, hey, module 3, step 2, I think you need an additional video or a little more clarification. That's great. We'll make that video or we'll add the clarification, because if you have the question, I bet other people do too. The benefit of Mastery, though, is that when you have questions unique to you and you want to actually work with people who care about you and can and engage with you and support you, that's where you get that. So, you know, the self-study, we have like limited engagement. That's just the difference. Okay, so I hope that that makes sense. All right, but so excited for you. Let me go through and just show a few more photos. And then Eric, any questions that you see in there that you want to bring in, please let me know. But I just want to share also like what Narissa said. She sent this to me via Facebook. I just finished the online course Step System a couple weeks ago. It has changed my life. I am absolutely stoked about this system. I actually finished my very functional to-do list this week. What a relief. You're bringing hope with what you do. I hear these messages all the time and I do not take them for granted. I just know this is my mission to help people. Samantha, who says she's been through all the trainings, says this one really is the best. You dig in and you'll notice how easy the material is to understand and consume. I'm not trying to impress anyone with this program. I'm not trying to make people like, hey, let me try to use huge vocabulary words and let me try to make it super complicated and technical. None of that. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. So literally, if you're watching this with a 10-year-old child, your child could be like, okay, let's make your tickler. Okay, let's make your stuff. You could do this easily as a family. Like, it's not complicated. But what's also so fun is that I work with people who are CEOs, people who are leading huge teams, people who are literally running multi-million-dollar companies. And when they learn this, it's like they can finally breathe. Samantha says, I can guarantee if you actually go through the modules and do the tasks and come to us all when you have an issue, you'll never feel any regret. So just a super fun thing. And yeah, I think someone was saying like they would love to get their kitchen counters clear, but they feel like once they do, it just piles up. It's because all you need is a simple system that you're going to follow each day. We're going to show you how to get those routines in place. So I went through the getting started information. We talked about the free self-study for a friend. share a little bit from Rick Mulready, who's running a huge company. And he's like, I needed to get more organized. But look what he said in paragraph 3. What he learned, what they taught me, gave me peace of mind at the end of every day. Something I've been striving for a long time, which is thrilling. I'm so glad to get to do this. So when you come in, like literally, I get to see, and you'll get to see these pictures come through your stream where you get to know, oh my goodness, look, other people are doing this too. How are they doing it? I know it looks kind of magic and you're like, well, what are they doing? Just shoving everything into the garage or like having a big bonfire? No, it's finally learning how your brain works and setting up your lists, your systems in a way that literally eliminates piles. I know most people think like, okay, we're talking about how to get rid of piles. Most people think that we're going to learn how you just pick up a basket and where you put stuff and how you buy boxes and how you organize. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how to help your brain to stop feeling like it's getting hit by a fire hose and create a system to accommodate all the tasks, projects, thoughts you need to do. Every pile is a project. Every challenge in your life, that's a project. We show you how you're going to get out of it. Now I don't feel anxiety anymore because all I have to do is think, well, what's the issue? What do I need to do? What's my next action? And I go do it. And if I can't do it right that minute, it's added to a list and I make sure I get back to it. That's why it's so exciting and so empowering. Like I look at this mural that her husband had painted. Oh my goodness, look how awesome. It's so fun because I couldn't even see the mural on the left, but now I can. Everyone has just a different situation, a different setup. So while I want to be very emphatic about saying, I know this can change your life, I'm also trying to balance that, making sure you don't feel like it's a pressured thing. That's why we give you 60 days to get your full money back. I don't require you to do anything else. We'll give you a little exit survey just to see how we can do better, but we will give you your money back if this doesn't work. That's also why we give you 48 hours to purchase after the webinar, and it's well worth what you would pay even if you didn't get this fast action bonus. So you have time if you want to think about it, you want to, consider, we'll send some follow-up emails, great. We're going to be there for you to help you, okay? So super excited for you. I'm going to share just a few additional things. And Eric, if anyone's here watching on Facebook Live, is there a link there in the comments on Facebook Live?
There is a link in the comments on Facebook Live. So you can just hit that button. The Facebook page will bring you right over to all the opportunities we're offering right here in the class.
Yeah, we have a special little form in case one's watching it there. But Fiona said, from the moment April and Eric described the 10-minute microbursts, I felt empowered. So she joined Mastery. Before she left work that day, her office was cleared out and her work command center was defined. What's so fun is that you're not afraid to put in energy. You're not afraid to work. It's just that you don't want to waste your time moving things around in circles. And I know, I was growing up, we had piles everywhere. We would decorate our piles with this orange and white Afghan, and that was like the official pile covering blanket. So like people would come over, we'd put the Afghan over our piles of stuff so people wouldn't see it. Or I would have to carry everything into my bedroom so that the front room would be clean. And then when they would leave, we would bring all the piles back out. I mean, so funny. I thought that was normal. But now I know. And like what Fiona says, I've done more in the past 3 months than in the past 3 years. So as you're looking and seeing, here's what people are doing, here's how it's happening, we just hope you feel super excited. We're going to get ready to close up in just a few minutes, and I think we do still have a little bit of room for the free self-study for a friend, Eric. So if you're like, I want to join Mastery, I want the free self-study for a friend, we would love to have you. If you're not concerned about the free self-study for a friend, you just want time to think about it, that's great, no problem. People will come in though and share things like in the Mastery group. You see this photo. This is just module 1, making a little space. But look on the floor. You can see on the left, there's like piles surrounding the desk. On the right, that box is gone from under that little side table. The floor is clear. This is where I get excited and just realize, oh my goodness, we can do this. If you're struggling because you don't believe in yourself, then I want to have that conversation with you because I want you to know this is not difficult to do. If you could follow along today with what we covered on the class, you're going to be able to make this happen as well in your life inside the program. So if it's strictly just a financial thing, no stress. I want you to apply the 4 steps, make it happen. I love that. But if you're like, oh, there's something else holding you back, you have some other question, go ahead and send it either in the Q&A or send it private to panelists or just type in the chat, because we're here to help answer your questions. We want you to feel empowered. We want you to feel excited. Jessica came in and said, I just finished step 3 of module 1. I'm in tears because this hits to the very center of my soul. So excited to keep going and make lasting progress a bit at a time. In module 1, we encourage you to make a commitment to yourself that you're going to get this done. You're going to get organized. You don't have to post it on social media, but Jessica wrote hers down on a little piece of paper and took a picture of it, which I love. I love being part of a community that's moving forward. I love getting to be a help, getting to be a coach, and having the opportunity to serve you, because this is like my dream. Now, just a final thing about, as you're looking at cost, Cheryl said, to be honest, I was hesitant to purchase until someone made the comment that the program is less than what it would cost to bring in a personal organizer. I bought it without discussing with my husband, which we don't recommend if you and your husband have a pact, but she says, knowing I could get a refund if not satisfied. She said her husband said, you don't need a webinar to clean, just pick up the stuff, but he didn't get it. But he saw chaos and clutter turn into this peaceful and serene place. And he said, he requested the office be done first. So she was like, so I honored that. Thank you. I mean, this office does not start out perfectly clean, but you think about how much money you have spent or you would spend on a professional organizer. It's literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. This way, you not only can save the money you would have spent on an organizer, but you learn how to become that. You learn how to create that, which is super fun. And Wendy says, I love having the peace of mind that I know how to handle the hundreds of papers and time demands that come in daily. I'm so glad I joined because it has already literally changed my life. So really, like, as you're considering this, I just want you to feel excited. I know sometimes there's people feeling nervous and thinking like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Can I really make this happen? I just want to emphasize that if you are excited, if you are committed, you will succeed. We're here to help you. We won't let you fail. You can just ask those clarifying questions. I want you to be the next after. I want you to be the one who comes in and who gets to celebrate and have your clean, clear, beautiful space. I know it looks like we're just organizing offices, but I promise it is so much more than that. We're helping you to change your life. We're helping you get your life back and get out of the drowning, which is super fun. Eric and I believe it's time for you to do what you were meant to do. And that means we've got to get rid of those piles. So if you have any additional questions, we're going to get ready to close up now. So excited that you were here today. If you have any more questions, you can send them to email@LearnDoBecome.com. I'm going to send you the replay and I'll send you the slide deck a little bit later. So glad that you're here. It is wonderful to be able to have you here. And thank you guys so much. Oh, and I love this one saying, this is an answer to prayer. Thank you. Excited to jump in. I love that. Another question said, do you just get rid of paper and digitize it or organize it? Yeah, we don't get rid of anything. What's so fun is that when you look at a pile, your mind usually goes numb to the piles and you stop paying attention to its components because it feels so overwhelming. So it just becomes a pile. We're going to help you dissect it. We're going to help you to know how to take each item that's in there, and we're going to show you how to actually make it flow into your system. So when you're getting hit by that fire hose, and I know, like just after getting off this class, if you're like, oh, I have 5 more text messages and 20 emails and someone left a voicemail and someone's knocking at the door and I have an appointment at 3 o'clock. I understand, but we're going to show you how you can change the pace. You don't have to be frazzled. And I know, I mean, we have a lot going on in our home and family, but I'm not frazzled. And it's not because I don't care. It's because I finally learned a system. Okay, so I hope that helps you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the class. Shayla's like, I'm getting this done already while listening to the webinar. I love that. So empowering. And I know, like, as we speak out to, like, you know, out to the internet, sometimes it's hard to, like, I can't see people's faces. I don't know if people understand, if I'm making sure I'm explaining things as well as I need to. But I do see so many of you who've already come and joined. In fact, I think we just hit our first 10, Eric. I'm so glad that you guys made it. I do still see some people have some questions and wanted to talk with a spouse about the program. Yeah. What do you recommend there? Because we just hit our first 10 for the free self-study.
What we'll do for that for sure. We want to make sure when our community knows we're here to take care of you. And also, just kind of as maybe a little reward for putting up with me and a sniffly nose for the last hour and a half. I am sorry about that. What we'll do is, if you feel like you're really excited about mastery, you'd love to come to the program, but you do need to talk to a spouse or a family member or somebody before you make that decision, we'll open that up. We'll extend that free self-study for a friend to the first 15 instead of just the first 10. So if anyone wants to buy right now and come into mastery, you'll get that free self-study for a friend. But if you need to talk to a spouse or someone else today before making that decision, we want to honor that commitment and not put you in a difficult spot. So if you want to just comment in the text chat, just send it private to, like, to panelists, put in your email address and the word mastery, and I'll make a note of that. And then if we see your purchase come through for mastery sometime before the end of the day today, we'll make sure that you absolutely get that free self-study for a friend. So if you're in that category, you're in that situation, we want to make sure you're supported. You don't feel like there's any pressure there. Take the time to show this replay or parts of it to your spouse or whoever you need to talk to. Share what you're most excited about. Share the results you're excited to get. And if you have any need of kind of help or support from us, we'll be happy to kind of help answer some additional questions that they might have. But go ahead and just put in that email address and the word mastery to panelists. We'll make sure we take note of that. Make sure you're well supported there.
Okay, the question just came in saying, how do you suggest I tell my husband about this program? Okay,
have you already bought it, or are you looking to buy it?
If you are looking to buy it and you need to talk with a spouse, and as those of you, thank you so much for being here. If those of you ever see people starting to type in their spouse's name, their email, and so thrilled to have you here. If you want to talk with your spouse about it, here's what I would say. I'd say, hey, you know how I've been having meltdowns, or I've been stressed, or there have been piles in our lives, like whatever kind of the symptoms are. Say, I think I finally found a way out of it. I attended a great class today that gave me 4 steps to get started. I'm already excited, but I think this can finally solve the problem once and for all, and I'm super excited about doing it. They have a 60-day money-back guarantee, and a spouse can come in too, so we can come in. I'm committed to giving this my best and making it work. What do you think about that? How can we make this happen? Something like that I think could be helpful, right? So excited about that. Okay, another question came in saying, how do you access the system? Can you use computers, phones? Yes, you can use any device that you would like. We've made it all very simple, where when you log in, each of the steps is super simple, just hyperlinked. We've got all the videos and audios, totally mobile, or you can use like an iPad, a phone, a desktop, whatever you'd like. That's all there for you. And I hope that that's helpful to you. So thank you guys so much. We have so many kind words coming in, and thank you guys for your messages. It's been such a blessing to be able to be here, and I love that. I love that this message just came in and said, thank you for all your help today. It seems like it's mostly us ladies that have this issue, LOL. I'm going to get started. I have my actions in check and I'm off to start. I love that. I have 1 hour and I divide it into 15-minute chunks. Let's see what I can do so I have space for a command center. Yay, I love that. Congratulations. And you guys, thank you so much. Like, it's such a gift to be able to be helpful. Like, I'm not good at everything. I'm really bad at a lot of things. But what I'm really good at, and I honestly believe I'm best in the world at, is helping you create this command central and be calm and excited and get rid of those piles so you can do what you do best. So thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day.
Class. Thank you so much for being with us today and for being part of the Learn to Become community. And we're just here to help support and serve you in any way that we can. And if you have questions or needs, just email us at email@learndobecome.com and we'll make sure you're taken care of. Have a great day.
Take care, everybody.